What up, my fellow YouTubers? It's your boy Zanzibar09 with Zanzibar09 Gaming, back at it again. Back from my little hiatus. I apologize for that, guys. You know, I'm in the process of making a move, and the process is pretty lengthy, so I'm sure you guys know how that goes. So I apologize for the short, but we are back, ready to get some content in, ready to help you guys get better at Smite, so you can call your friends and own people in casual and ranked games. Now let's dive right into it. Let me help you guys, make you guys better at the game, or tips, or you know, you might be better than me. I have no idea, and you might just want to look at this guide to get an extra perspective. I know I do that sometimes. I just surf YouTube or surf the web and look at different builds and how people play the guide just to get some extra tips, because by no means am I saying I know everything about every single god about this game. I don't. There's some things that I still need to learn about this game, but that's the beauty of it, is learning to get better and making yourself better. If you don't practice, it's just like with anything in life, guys. If you don't practice, you're not going to get better. So let's dive right into it. We got Fafnir here, the dwarf god, the money, the gold mongerer, the Smaug, the Gimli of, for all my Lord of the Rings fans, the Gimli of Smite, the short midget, whatever you want to call him. He is in the game, and we are ready to rock with him, so let's go. First, passive. Going right into the passive. Endless Greed. So, Fafnir gains 2 bonus gold from all enemy kills, assists, including minions. He also gains protections based on the amount of gold. Basically, what that is saying is, he has a built-in Watcher's Gift into his kit. This used to be OP because you used to get 4 gold, and now they reduced it to 2. It's still lovely. If you guys don't know what Watcher's Gift is, I will explain it to you when we get to the builds. It's beautiful. If you ever play a Guardian and you don't build Watcher's Gift, shame on you. Shame, shame, shame. You should be building Watcher's Gift. It's beautiful. It's lovely. Anyway, sorry for my little tangent. Going into protection. So, at 1,000 gold, you're going to gain 20 magical and 20 physical protections. That is the cap. You can see this by the bottom left hand corner. Once again, next to your relics, you got 2 little dragons with a mound of gold coins there. Those coins, those beautiful coins, beautiful gold coins. I wish I had that many gold coins. Make my life so much easier. So you have 1,000 gold coins, you get 20 magical, 20 physical protections. You can then assume that at 500 gold you're going to have 10 magical and 10 physical protections. By no means am I a mathematician or an engineer. I'm not going to come up with a formula, guys, or do a bunch of calculations to say if you have 600 gold, you're going to have 12 magical and 12 physical protections. I apologize. That's not my forte. I don't want to take the time to do that. There's going to have to be a lot of equations, I'm sure, in an Excel spreadsheet. So, the 2 things that we know that are for sure is at 500 gold, you're going to have 10 magical and 10 physical protections, and at 1,000 gold, you're going to have 20 magical and 20 physical protections. You can also see that on his waistband, his pouch is glowing gold. This is very useful when fighting against a Fafnir, because you are able to see his glowing pouch as well. So, say he has half health or less, maybe, you know, the tanks are usually the last ones you want to gank. But if you see his pouch is not glowing gold, you can say to yourself, well, he doesn't have 20 physical and magical protections. You can maybe guess and say, well, I don't know how he maybe has 10, 15, I don't know, because they won't tell you if you have less than 1,000. So you can make an assumption based on that whether you want to go in or not to try and attack him. Now, going into his 1. So his 1 is he's gonna hurl his hammer forward, dealing damage to enemies in the path. This is going to be your minion clear, your wave clear. This is your first ability that you're going to want to get to rank 5. Remember that, guys. First ability is going to be your hammer toss, called Curse Strength. What it does is, so it'll go through the entire minion wave. If there's a god in the way, it's going to stop, hit the god, stun the god for 1.5 seconds, slow the god, and then pulse out a purple radiant aura that will slow any other enemy god in the area for 3 seconds. As well as whenever he turns into a dragon. Yes, this guy can turn into a dragon. turns into Smaug basically, but green. I'll go into more detail on that when we get to the ultimate. So in dragon form, well, actually, I'll just wait till he goes into dragon form to explain each of the abilities. Basically, when he goes into dragon form, his square and his circle and his X are gonna change a little bit. I'll go into those changes when he actually goes into dragon form. So for now, let's just stick with his non-dragon form. So you can see here, got my square ready. It's a line, goes through all the minions. It deals damage to them. Like I said, this is gonna be your minion wave clear. This is gonna be your first ability that you're going to want to level. Now we're gonna come over here to my Odin, and I'm gonna throw it at the Odin. So you see how he gets stunned? He got stunned, and then if you notice as well, a purple aura radiated out from below him. So I'll show that again. Y'all see that purple aura that just radiated out? So any enemy gods in that aura will become slowed for 3 seconds. This is very useful. This is going to be actually your main setup item to get kills for your team and for CC. This is going to be your main CC item. If you guys don't know what CC means, it is crowd control. So it's going to be your main crowd control item to basically lock down the enemy team. Going into his number 2, Coerce. So Fafnir coerces his allies into fighting harder, boosting their attack speed for 5 seconds and healing himself. While the Coerce is active, Fafnir deals bonus damage whenever the ally damages an enemy. So as you can see there, your bonus damage at rank 5 is 25% of the target's power, and you get a self-heal on it for 170. So this will look something like this. Put it on. I got my little guy stomping on my shoulder, you know, clap your hands, stomp your feet, praise the Lord, we got heat. He's dancing, he's doing jig, whatever they do, whatever dwarves do. Now, my attack speed gets boosted, as you can see here. We in here scrapping. Super attack speed. As well as, you might not be able to see it. Let me see if... It'll be very faint. Basically, what's going to happen is you'll see when I hit a guy, you'll see a faint orange number. You see that faint orange number? Like always to the left or to the right of the basic attack damage, it was in orange. That's the bonus damage that you're dealing. So I was dealing 14 bonus damage, I believe. Yeah, 14. You see a little number. It might be hard to see on your screen, but I can see it on mine. It says 14 right next to my 55 or 56. So that's basically his number 2. How you want to use this is, majority of the time, you want to use this on your allies, like your hunter or your assassin. Boost their attack speed. They can... sorry about that. I'm trying to clear my throat here. A little congested. Basically, you're going to put it on your hunter or assassin and just let them go to work. They have the increased attack speed. They're going to be able to fire more shots out, or they're going to be able to hit you a lot faster, as well as deal bonus damage. And it's a wrap, basically. Just let them go to work. Also, you get a heal on it. So whenever you put it on an ally, you're going to get a heal. Whenever you put it on yourself, you're going to get a heal. My recommendation for this is, if you're alone by yourself and you need a heal, put it on yourself. But do not go in there and start scrapping. Do not do this and then go in and try to fight somebody with attack speed Fafnir. Not a good idea. Not a smart idea. Just put it on yourself, get your heal, and back up. If you're with an ally, I recommend you always put it on the ally just to get your heal, as well as, I mean, it's going to increase his attack speed, so you're going to help clear the lane faster. That's just a general tip for you guys with this too. So, going into his circle ability, underhanded tactics. Fafnir leaps to the target location and executes a strike, dealing damage and disarming the enemies in front for 2 seconds. So this is basically a 2-second disarm. It'll look like this. So this got a little cone shape in front of it. You see, you jump, you deal damage, and it'll disarm enemy gods. Disarm enemy gods only, no minions. You can't disarm all that stuff, as you guys know. The cool thing about this is, the shorter you are, the quicker the strike comes out. So you saw how I did it all the way at max range, and it took me a while to get there. If you do it right in front of you, bam. See how quick that thing came out? You do it right in front of you, it's like bam. You do it far away, it's kind of like bam. So that's what I like. I thought it was pretty cool. Haven't seen that too many times on a lot of gods, because you see it just whoop, like instant. It's instant. There's no jump. But I mean, it should, if you kind of think about it, it should be like that way. You know, you're doing it right in front of you. It should be an instant strike rather than like a wait and then a strike. So I'll show you guys what the disarm looks like. There's the disarm. You can see right there, 2 second disarm. If you guys didn't know if you guys don't know what a disarm is, it basically, you cannot use your basic attacks for 2 seconds or however long the disarm lasts. So for 2 seconds, that Raw could not use his basic attacks. So then you're probably asking, you can probably already start to see some of the combos coming to work here. You can basically jump into the fight with your circle, initiate with your circle, disarm, and then stun, and then slow, and then start fighting or zone off or do whatever, and then put the coerce on your teammate, or like I said, never put it on yourself in a team fight. I'm just doing this for an example. You can put it on your teammate, and there you can actually see the magical damage a little bit more clear. Like you see the 17, 17, 17, 17. That's the magical damage you're doing. So you guys see that a little bit clear. Or another strategy would be is, you know, initiate with your square, go in, start scrapping for a little bit. When you start taking a lot of damage, then you can use your circle to go out. So your circle is an escape and an initiator is what I like to call it. Basically, by what I mean by initiate is you start the fight. That's what your job is majority of the time as a guardian. You go in, you initiate, you start the fight, use your CC, your teammates come behind you, and they basically do cleanup duty. So now, going into his ultimate, the dude turns into a freaking dragon. Yes, a freaking dragon. He becomes Smaug the Despicable, the Sultan of SWAT, the Master of Disaster, whatever you want to call him. He turns into a freaking dragon. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of stuff going on when he turns into a dragon. So I'll try and sum it up as best I can. So basically, he's going to transform into your dragon. He is untargetable and takes no damage during the process. This is very key. Remember this, guys. He is untargetable and takes no damage when turning into the dragon. This is very useful because you can basically quote unquote dodge ultimates, big heavy attacks when transforming into a dragon. I've done it plenty of times. Like a Vulcan ultimate or a Zeus ultimate. As soon as they ult you, or right before, so the Zeus one's going to be a little hard to quote unquote dodge, but the Vulcan one is easy. I mean, you'll just stand in the area. As soon as you stand in the area, just ult, and you'll actually not get hit by it. So when he emerges in dragon form, nearby enemies are poisoned in the area. So let me pull the area up so you can see this area right here. If there's any enemies inside the area, they will become poisoned for 3 seconds. It's a 3-second poison. As well as he remains in the form for the duration that you have set. So it'll be 40 seconds at rank 5, 20 seconds at rank 1. You can use the ability again to cancel it and get him out. As a dragon, his abilities have additional effects, and his basic attack is now Fire Breath that deals 3 damage per second. Your Dragon Breath cannot proc item hit effects. So you won't be able to get like a Tolkien's Ring, which whenever you hit an enemy with a basic attack, it'll do 45 extra damage. It won't proc that. It won't proc like a Frostbound Hammer, your Executioner, things like that. No item effects on the Dragon Breath. So let's go right into it. So here it is. You can see me transforming. Remember, guys, when you're transforming, you don't take any damage, and you're untargetable. So your square, remember your square used to be a hammer throw. Now it's like Fire Breath. You can see that's what it does right there. You shoot a little Fire Breath. When you land it on somebody, it's a dot. Damage over time that ticks 3 times over 3 seconds. Also, it shreds protections. So here it is. You can see it there. It still slows. Now the aura that comes out will still slow. But you can see it does damage over time. As well as... There's the damage over time, as well as shreds protections. What's the protection? 20%. So it'll shred protections by 20%. Okay, so that was the square. I don't know, and then I don't know if you saw right there for a little bit, I had my dragon's breath come out. So basically his X, I'm going to his X because it doesn't really change. As you can see right there, in dragon form this ability has a larger area of effect and can buff multiple allies. That's it. That's the only change. Still does the exact same thing, except for the area of effect is a little bit bigger, so you don't have to worry about that too much. So his circle in dragon form, you can leap farther. Also, the ability deals increased damage that puts a damage over time, and you stun the enemy god, as well as disarming. So now it's you jump, you hit him, you stun him, you put a damage over time, and you disarm at the same time. So I'll show you what these look like. So I'll show you what the first one. First of all, I'm sorry about that. First of all, here's the dragon form. When they're in the area, they start taking damage over time. Here's your X. You can see the area is significantly bigger and eyes come out. As well as here's your circle. See how he gets stunned and the damage over time comes. And then here's your basic attack. So you can already start to see some combos coming to work here. But the best combo majority of the time is going to be your circle to stun. And then as soon as you stun them, you put your square out and you get that double damage over time. And then you just spray them with the fire breath the whole time. And then you put the X on your allies, you deal increased damage right there. You can see I'm dealing 10s, 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 10s. And it keeps ticking. But yeah, and that's basically Fafnir in a nutshell. I mean, there's a lot of combos you can do to set things up. You know, going into builds here. Let me remove all this stuff. Going into builds, now he's got a variety of builds, and so I would still do reinforced shoes even with the 3.18 update. They said these shoes are ripped, but honestly not really. I mean, you still get 24 physical and magical protections on top of his passive, which is really good. So I would go with boots. And then from there, for me, I don't have a set Fafnir build. It's really just situational. I mean, you could go with a Hide of the Urchin. You could go with a Void Stone, a Breastplate of Valor. What else? I mean, let's go with a Bulwark of Hope, and then you could finish with what's the item I'm looking for? You could finish with like Rada Tahiti or something. Now, I've had people tell me you need to build offensive items on him, at least one offensive items, but it's just really what's up to you, what's up to the player. You know, I've seen, I mean, you go look at some of the pros, they don't build any offensive item on Fafnir and they do just fine, you know what I'm saying? It's really just situational with Fafnir. You know, if you're already doing a lot of damage and you're up on your team, on the other enemy team, you can get away with building offensive items. But you're going to need some type of defense. You know, just keep that in mind when you're building him. Like I said, like, I don't want to give you guys a set build on him because there's so many different builds, and like, especially with Guardians, you'll see the more God Guides I do with Guardians, I don't have a set Guardian build. Now there are, I'll say this though, there are set items. There are set items that I will use. So for example, like Breastplate of Valor is always going to be a set item. Bulwark of Hope, majority of the time, is always going to be a set item. Hide of the Urchin, for me it's either Hide of the Urchin or Mantle of Discord. It's always going to be a set item or a staple item in the build. Everything else is flexible. You know, your boots are flexible, your Void Stone is flexible, and your Rada Tahiti is flexible. I mean, you could take these out and go, I mean, if you wanted to help your teammates, I mean, you could go Dynasty Plate Helm to help yourself with more penetration. You could go Mystical Mail. You could go Midgardian Mail, Sovereignty. It's just whatever you want to do. Choice is up to yours. You have to be able, one of the big keys about this game is you have to be able to recognize what the other enemy team is doing in terms of their build and counter build against it, or look at the majority of the team. You know, is the majority of the team physical? Is the majority of the team magical? if whatever that case is, you're going to want to build maybe a little bit more. Like, say they have 4 physical guys. Obviously, you're going to want to build a lot of physical protection. But say they have 3 physical and 2 magical. You need to weigh the situation out. Are those 3 physical guys going to do more damage than those 2 mages? They might, depending on who your 2 mages are. Just look at how much damage you're taking. Look at who you're taking the most damage from. Build against that character. Don't build all the way against that character. Now, say they have like a soul or something, and that soul is ripping you to shreds. They're going to do that most anybody, but say they're just ripping you to shreds. Don't build all magical defense, because at some point, no matter how much magical defense you build, you're not going to be able to stand in front of a soul for like 45 seconds. It's just not going to happen. So that's just a little tip for y'all in general on how to be a good builder at Smite. Sorry guys, I'm a little tired. So these videos are tiring, man. No, I'm just kidding. Last thing is going to relics. You know, once again, these are real situational. Obviously, you won't, most likely I start out with a med, then I go into maybe a curse or a shell or a sprint, you know, just depending on the situation. Majority, this is my build. It's going to be shell and med, or shell and curse, and there we go. And so let me put my build back on. Oh man, I apologize guys. Put my build back on and we can go to work for a little bit. I'll show you some combos. You know, bam, bam, and then put yourself on. You can start scrapping. And then when we go into dragon form. Now, another thing I forgot to mention is when you go into dragon form, all your abilities reset. So you can see the damage just being done right there is just ridiculous. Just savage. But yeah guys, like always, I got a couple videos of me playing as Fafnir, so I'll attach those to the end. You know, like, comment, subscribe, share the videos guys. Give me all the feedback that you can, good or bad. I love feedback. Good or bad, feedback helps you get better. I hope give you guys better content, give you exactly what you're looking for, what you guys need to get better. Have a good one guys. Y'all take it easy.